everybody. Give me a little juice there, Andrew. Happy Wednesday evening to all across the Delaware Valley and beyond. This is Cuz's Corner, and we're live at the fabulous Parks Casino right here, Street Road in Ben Salem. Of course, this is the show where my main man, the Brain, and I go through the entire football card, beginning with a monster tomorrow night, Lincoln Financial Field. We cannot wait. But again, look, make sure that this weekend that Parks is in your plans, because it doesn't get better than all the headliners, the best music and comedic acts right here at Parks. In fact, all kinds of stuff is happening. We'll go through the lineup a little bit later on, but then you go and hang out. You have all the table games, the slots, the Peaky Blinders slots, and the Breaking Bad slots, and all the Park Steakhouse and the Bamboo Noodle House that Andrew's dying for. All that stuff is right here at Parks. The Excite Center is where it is. So make sure that you go to Parks Casino. I know that guy, my main man, as we hang out right here all the time. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, without further ado, Brain, good evening, my man, the Brain.
Good to hear you, buddy. How are you? I'm looking forward to a great football weekend, and obviously the big game of the week. Yeah, Thursday night. And I think it's going to be a good one, and I have some pretty strong feelings on it.
Oh, I love it. I love to hear that. I will say this evening that I have a little fatigue. And I'm going to announce, Brain, yes, I'm going to make an announcement, that I am on load management when it comes to watching the Sixers. So I'm going to take tonight off because, quite frankly, I can't take it, all right? So I'm going to take off tonight, and I'm a DNW, do not watch, because of load management. All right.
Anthony, listen, as I told you, just in the off season, I remember talking to you like it was yesterday. I literally, I know exactly where it was. I was in Stone Harbor, New Jersey, and you were talking to me. We did a show, and you're like, Brad, I actually feel really good. I think there's a real chance Sixers are going to go after George Harden. I think there's a real chance they get him. And I'm like, oh, okay. I obviously you always have good ins and knowledge. And I'm like, wow, if they got Paul George, this could be a really exciting team. And they get him, and I'm like, oh my God, this could be wonderful. And it's like, from the second that happened, it's almost like, okay, you got Paul George, we're going to punish you with every single thing that we can. We're not going to let this be easy for you. We're going to make you be miserable during this thing. And I got to tell you, and Anthony, tell me if you think I'm wrong here. Even like in the nadir of the Ben Simmons stuff, I've like been depressed watching it. Like this whole thing has me.
Yes.
And it should turn around. I get it. But man, just going through it, I've been very, very turned off.
Like, dude, I'm with you, man. I feel, and you know what it is? And it's really an NBA issue, right? It's a league issue. And
it's a league issue.
They need to go in and they need to restructure this whole thing, because that's how this whole thing started, because of Popovich, because of the whole idea that the regular season doesn't matter, devaluing it. It was never like that. It wasn't like that with Jordan. It wasn't like that with Kobe. And God bless LeBron. He gives you your money's worth during the regular season, right? Like, he tries.
100%.
Like, those guys, those play. Look at Jokic. Like, they're guys with pride. And then you have the flip side. And they have set a precedent. And the genie's out of the bottle. And so you got a game tonight. And, no Paul George, no Embiid again, right? And you just go, why am I watching this? I mean, seriously, enough's enough. Like, it's such a money grab that, either you shorten the regular season because you've already devalued the regular season, so shorten it. Make it matter more. Spread out the games so there's no back-to-backs. And then there's no excuse for Embiid not to play, right? If there's no back-to-backs, you got to play. All right? And you're only playing if there's only 70 games. But they're so greedy, right? You want all the money in the world. Well, I need the inventory of regular season. And it's just become a bleep you, in your face, middle finger to the fan base. And it's a shame. Because they take something that we love and they destroy it. They whore it out to the point of it's It's gross. And to the point where guys like you and I who love it, who are losers, right, go, you know what, I'm not watching. You know what I'm doing? I coach youth basketball. I coach 6th grade basketball. I got tryouts tonight, all right? And normally I would DVR it and watch the game the minute I walk in the door. I ain't doing that tonight.
Yeah, I got to tell you something, Anthony, and I love it. I don't know anyone who, but maybe you do because you're all your contacts. I'd love to see why it is, and maybe I'm wrong when I say this, but I don't think I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong, although I don't have data to prove it. But in baseball and in basketball, it seems to me, Anthony, back in the 80s, 70s, 90s, guys were playing more games, less injuries.
Yeah.
Now with this load management, it seems like more injuries, less games.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Like, I mean,
I feel the same way.
Used to pitch
I
40
know.
starts a year. Now you can't pitch 40 starts. Now
well,
you
the
can,
other
you get
problem
30, you're in the
is,
Hall of Fame.
I mean, the other problem they did is they sold out to velocity, right? And
Of
because
course.
of the analytics, and when you have that kind of motion to create that kind of torque and that sort of velocity, you're more apt to injure your elbow or your shoulder, right? Like,
What about Greg Maddux?
Guys knew how to pitch, right? Greg Maddux would not be valued today.
Yeah.
I
You're
mean,
probably right, actually.
because they look for live. And
You're
listen,
probably right.
I love big arms and but you also need a balance of guys that can go in and know how to pitch and be crafty and throw 94 and then have it change up at 87 and move your eye spots, right? Changing speeds, changing locations. That art of pitching was much more pronounced in 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
Well, it's
But
interesting
J.D.
because
Moyer.
I kind of comp like a guy who has like a 100-mile-per-hour fastball, let's say, versus a cannon NFL arm like Jamarcus Russell back in the day, even though he stunk, or John Elway, Matt Spencer, but versus a guy who actually has really good accuracy, versus a good location like a Greg Maddux. Like, Drew Brees was very accurate. To me, you don't have to have the best arm to be good. If you can anticipate where the receiver is going to be, if you can read the field properly, you don't need. And same in baseball, I feel like if you have good location, I don't even know why you would have to throw a zillion miles an hour. Because to me, if you're putting the ball in spots that are difficult to hit, I don't think it makes a ton of difference.
Scout, listen, you're right. You're 100% right. The scout just says, "Hey, man, I want electric stuff." Right, like that, and then I'm guilty too. I see kids I do a lot of youth stuff, and there's some kids that got some great arms, man. And you go, oh man, if this kid could just stay healthy, right? High school kids throwing 94, 96, that are 15, 16, 17 years old, right? You got to be able to stay healthy. But I'm with you, man. I am. I'm with you.
I did like your idea on this morning show. For everyone, Anthony talked about, because look, NBA, they're trying to drum up interest because I think the league knows there's a problem. I give them at least. And Anthony, you mentioned something which I thought was very smart. We're like, people like me and Anthony, if we're not even really following this NBA Cup too much, but Anthony said, well, suppose they did it kind of like an NCAA tournament. And it's funny. I was like, you know what? I go, maybe that's something actually I would gravitate towards. If it was on in the day, okay, it's 32 teams, right? I think there's 13 teams.
30.
I think that's right. And then you go from 32 to 16 to 8, to 4, and you can just kind of do it like the NCAA tournament. You take off whatever, a week of the season. That's all you really need. It's like, okay, we're having our tournament, and it kind of, people see the brackets. They could bet with it easier, like at places like Parks. They could follow it. I think it would be a good thing. Again, I'm not saying that's going to solve all their stuff, but as opposed to now trying to go after that soccer model, which Anthony, you made a good point, and you said it doesn't really work because it's the same teams playing the same teams as opposed to like in soccer, it's new competition.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, if you're playing the Serie A and Bundesliga and Premier League and the Spanish League, the French League, La Liga, right? Like, you got all those teams, right? So they're fun. So they're going to mix it. But the NBA is still the same guys, same team, same guy. You just put it in a different bottle and you're going, it's the same thing. It's water, right? I don't care what you put it in a bright blue bottle. It's still freaking water. It doesn't mean anything. Now, if you give me a whole week and there's 30 teams in the league, right? There's 30 of them. And you see them 1 to 30 and maybe you figure out who gets a bye. I don't care how you figure it out.
Something like there's a way to do it, obviously.
Right, and so you have a tournament-style game, and you do it imagine if you did it, I don't know, Martin Luther King Day or the week leading into the Super Bowl, right? Imagine that, right? And then the Final Four is the Saturday before the Super Bowl, and the championship game is the Monday night after the Super Bowl. I don't know, use the Super Bowl as a way to pump it up. But I'm watching. I'll go 2 days where there's a noon start on a Monday, right? All right, I'm in on that. Monday, Tuesday, and then you do it at you pick a neutral site, Vegas, Chicago.
I would actually go.
Yeah, and you're watching basketball all day long. All right, I'm in. I'll do that. And then you see who wins.
And then it's set up the way you said. And I actually think it makes a lot of sense. I know, obviously, you're friendly with the guys at the Sixers. I think it's worth a conversation saying, listen, by the way, I think this, if you're going to, and then they'd say, maybe they'd mention to Silver or something like that. Because to me, I think it would improve it a lot. And I know the league, they want to improve things. And I think that could be something. It also could be something that helps TV ratings wise.
Yeah.
As opposed to what they're doing now with it, which is just garbage.
No, it is. It's terrible. All right, let's get to a sport that doesn't need any fixing.
Yes.
All right? We love this sport. And tomorrow night, oh, my God. It's great because we actually have a game that matters, that's big. I had Brian Mitchell on today, right before you, Brad, and our old friend B. Mitch, who's down in Washington covering the Commanders, and Jaden Daniels. So the Eagles, 3.5-point favorites against Washington. And you know what's funny? I brought this up, and you and I, I think, see it the same. But who did I have on? Kevin. I had Nagandi on after you, and he heard me say that I like the Eagles by double digits. And he's like, what? You like the Eagles by double digits? I'm like, dude, I love the Eagles tomorrow night. Love them. So go ahead, Brain.
Yeah, listen, I'm the same as you, Anthony. Look, I like them by margin, and I don't say that often. Look, now, listen, I thought this line deserved to come in at least 4. I came in initially at 3. I grabbed it, instantaneously because I'm like, there's a 0 chance this is going to 2.5. So I was able to get 3, which is obviously a key number. But even at 3.5, if I had not put in my bet, Anthony, if I never bet this, okay, I woke up and I missed the bet at 3, I would bet it at 3.5. I just think, again, you have a Philadelphia team playing their best football of the year, right? Against the Washington team, which I'm not going to say they're going to start to crumble because that wouldn't be fair, but I feel like they've overachieved based on what their talent level is. They get the miraculous win against let's be honest, Anthony, a bad Chicago Bears team.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, I thought they could beat Pittsburgh at home. I bet it. I lost. But this is, the more I watch this team, they're not. Look, the kid Daniels is really, really good. They're well coached. The coordinator's good. The head coach's done a great job. And their defense has played better than I thought they would. But still, from a 45, 50-man talent evaluating point of view, from an NFL roster point of view, I just think the Eagles have an advantage at virtually every spot, except, you want to say starting quarterback, okay.
Yes.
But I just think the Eagles are a better team, more or less everywhere.
Yeah.
And at home, good crowd. I think
the only advantage I would give Washington would be quarterback, and which is negligible, right? And D-line.
Okay, that's
and
right.
And then back 7 clearly is Eagles, right, on
Philly.
defense. O-line, wide receiver, O-line, running back. I mean, I'm with you.
And I just think, listen, it's one game, and everyone watching, listen, one game we could see, any team beat any team. That's why it's the NFL and we love it or whatnot. But I feel very comfortable. This is a situation, if they did play this game, 100 times, I think the Eagles really win this game closer, at least 3. I think they win this game 3 or 4 times. I really do. I think they're going to win this game. And I think it's going to be by margin. And I think it's going to be one of those ones where, it's going to be 21-7 at halftime. And then I think they're going to win this game, let's call it 35-17, 35, something like that. I don't think it's going to be close. I think they're going to score close.
I'm with you, man. I feel the same exact way. I feel the same way with it. I love them. I do. I think the same thing. And here's something that I truly believe. That that the Eagles right now are clearly the number 2 team in the NFC right now. I believe that, right? I think the Lions are clearly number one. I mean, we get it. Like, they didn't even play well Sunday night, and they still win, right? Goff throws 5 picks, and they still are able to win. But I'll tell you, I love. And here's why the Eagles are there. I mean, we know about their offense and the skill guys and the whole thing. But, dude, those 2 kids in the secondary, I keep saying it, and I know I go overboard with it, but I believe it. Mitchell and DeJean are the truth. Like, having Mitchell as a lockdown corner on one side, right? Like, you feel great against tomorrow night against Terry McLaurin. Scary Terry's not scary when you got San Quinion, right? The penitentiary,
100%.
right? And then having a guy like Cooper who can step up in nickel, right, as a nickel corner in the middle of the field and make tackles. Like, he tackles. He's you know this because you're a college football guy, but you watch Iowa. Those dudes rap, right? They rap.
Yeah, 100%.
And remember the real issues with the Eagles over the last few years defensively? They couldn't tackle.
100%. And Andy, I know we talked about tackling on your show the other day. That's a huge thing. And look, those 2 picks, in my opinion, and obviously they have a young enough base with Devontae, Jalen, Saquon, AJ, right? Most of the offensive line. This is a team that, again, it's hard to look much past 3 years in the NFL just because things do and can change. But certainly for the next 3-4 years, this is the Philadelphia Eagles team, Anthony, that should theoretically be at the top of the food chain in the NFL.
Yes.
This is a team that you would hope the next 3 or 4 years, and I'm not saying it can't be 10 years, but I'm just saying certainly next 3 or 4 years, because of those 2 picks, I think the same way as you. I feel like those 2 picks kind of like, they talk about all the time, but guys on a rookie contract, a quarterback, how that helps you. But I think when you get 2 picks like that, where it's impossible to get that, like that's something you just can't find. It's like it's finding a rare baseball card, right? And it's like, a one of one. It's not easy to find these young cornerbacks who can dominate. They did it. Howie, give him credit. Both the pick from a small college and then trading up for DeJean, 2 great jobs by Howie, which again, while I may rip his analytical department in certain things, I think the guy's a brilliant guy, a great general manager, and always knows what he's doing. And I think the Eagles are in a great place because of what they did. And I don't think you're overrating those cornerbacks, Andy. I think that's everything.
You know who flashes to me too? And you saw him a little bit. Now, he's very green, but I got some hope for him, is Jalix Hunt.
I mean, listen, as you said, maybe a little green, but this base of what they have, Anthony, to me, they're just on the right path. I question a little bit the coach in terms of hope they don't, mess up a big spot.
Yeah.
But again, the talent level on the team, and again, they still don't have Anthony. I'm not correct. That third receiver to me, again, if they ever were to lose it, we saw what happened. If they lose AJ or Devontae, we actually saw what would happen. Yeah, it wasn't pretty.
No, I agree. And listen, Barkley's washed away a lot of sins.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Listen, as long as Hurts can move, look, there's things. It's hard to nitpick, right? Because you don't. You feel like you're nitpicking with the guy,
for sure.
in the sense that he's got 51 career rushing touchdowns. Like, that's eye-popping numbers, right?
Amazing.
That said, you still got to get rid of the ball, right? You still can't hold on to the ball like he does. There's some habits that he's got to get rid of, but that just makes him into a top 5 quarterback if he does that. He's got he's got a dream around him, right? Which is a great running back, a great receiver, is a great O-line. So, it'd be good to take that another step.
Anthony, my favorite line you've ever had was you said the NFL is the coach's league, which I don't think enough people really see that for how accurate it is. But that, to me, proves what you just said a little bit. Like, let's talk about Jalen Hurts. Right situation. If you give it, like, again, I'm Kellen Moore, I don't know. But I think you need to, Jalen's the kind of guy, I don't know if he's like plug and play. I think he's a guy that, needs to be put in certain situations to maximize his production as a quarterback. And I think putting him in good spots, putting him in positions to succeed. Look, Steichen and him seem to have that great connection. That 2 years ago connection, he really
I think it was less Steichen. I know we want to canonize
Well, maybe
Steichen.
It's not. You would know better than me.
You know what it is? It was that offense had people on their heels because of the read option, right? It was so hard to stop with the receivers. And then they realized, we just got to rush and blitz Jalen. And they don't have any answers, right? Like, that's what did them in. But now you add Barkley, and that's the counter, right? Because now, if you got to be a great defense because you got to stop Barkley and you still got to blitz Hurts.
I just have to say the same thing. For all those people, and there have been a lot of them, that have said, and if the running back, and again, I say sometimes when everyone's zigging, you have to zag.
Yeah.
The NFL basically took a big dump on running backs, saying you guys are worth nothing.
Yeah.
You're garbage. We're going to pay Gabe Davis $15 million a year and Saquon Barkley $13. Let me repeat that. We're going to pay Gabe Davis.
Yep.
Gabe Davis, who stinks.
Yep.
$15 million a year, and Saquon's going to get his 13 or 14, whatever it was. I say to myself, Howie zigged when the rest of the league was zagging. He paid the guy, and it was honestly, besides Terrell Owens, I don't like putting anyone out Terrell Owens, but besides that free agent move, I think this was the best move the Eagles have had in franchise history.
Yeah.
And to me, I think it showed the value of a dominant running. Look at Derrick Henry, Anthony.
Yeah. I
mean, Derrick Henry and
you see it all around the league, man.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And these have made these two teams, right up there as the two best teams in the league. These two specific players.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. All right, let's go fast because we got a lot to cover. So we both like the Eagles. Any props stand out tomorrow night?
What's that?
Any props stand out tomorrow night?
I bet Devontae over 49.5 yards. To me, it was like, I know he didn't practice the first day, but he was going to play. I was like 49.5 yards. I go, I'm going to choke on that. I'm just going to choke on that. If he doesn't get it, he doesn't get it. And I also bet
Dallas Goedert
over 26.5 yards.
Yeah.
Now I know that, look, he's been splitting time. He just came back, but 26.5 to me for him, I just thought that was too light. I thought he should have been more like 34, something like that. So I did bet those two. I bet both Eagles over-unders and props. And Goddard to me, I just thought 26.5 was just way low. And again, Devontae, the guy goes over almost every single game. And I know Washington's been good against the pass, Anthony, but he averaged 71 yards a game last year. He's averaging 61 this year.
Dude, I like both. What's Barkley's number on Parks? Rush.
Barkley, here, let me bring it up right now. Barkley, give me a second. I know it's very high. I'm
just curious 90s. How high it is. How high?
I think it's going to be low 90s. I'm pretty sure it's low 90s. It's 91.5.
Yeah.
91.5.
Yeah.
Which again, low 90s. That's
That's what it should be.
That's what it should be. Again, it's hard in the NFL to get 90 yards in a game.
Yeah.
But this guy's good enough that he deserves that number.
And I like it. Like I agree. There's not much value there, but I do like it. I do think he gets 100 yards tomorrow, only because low workload against the Dallas on Sunday. They're not good against the run. I think Barkley gets there, but I agree with you. No value. All right, let's go to Sunday. The big early game is great. It's the rivalry game. It's Ravens and Steelers. And I don't know about you, but, dude, I love the Ravens in this game. I love them all day long. I don't think they can stop the Ravens' offense.
Well, look, Anthony, when I look at Pittsburgh, and look, I got to tell you something interesting. It's not just me. I mean, this is not just me. It's the betting market. Pittsburgh, their season win total before the year, and I remember being on your show, and I bet they're under 8.5 wins before the year, and I remember VG was like, death taxes and Mike Tomlin going 9-8 or better. The only and he always did it, and they start off 3-0, and the over under was still 8.5, which was the craziest thing. Or 2-0, and I got out of the. I'm like, all right, they won their first two games. Right now, as a 7-2 team, Anthony, their over under is 10.5. Think about that. 8 games left. They're saying they're probably going to go 3-5. So they're not getting respect. I agree with you. I just think this team, there's a great coach. Pickens makes a lot of good plays. But I only look at Baltimore. I think Baltimore is just, the only thing I'll say is Pittsburgh seems to have that BS factor, Anthony. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the horseshoe and the keister.
No, yeah, like the Chiefs. If the Chiefs played the Steelers, both teams would find out with both get wins.
Yeah.
So I only could look Baltimore. I just for the reasons you said. I trust their offense 1,000 times more. But I mean, again, Pittsburgh, I have to give them credit, Anthony. They've just played really, really well. The line right now on Parks is -3, laying 117. I think it's more apt to go to 3.5 than stay at 3.
Yeah, I agree. I love the Ravens in the game. I think that's a double digit. I think and I'm with you, and I respect the BS factor, but I don't think they could score with Baltimore. And I like Pittsburgh.
That's what I'm saying. It's a good matchup for Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Because Baltimore should theoretically, their horrible defense should be able to just not get embarrassed here. And it's hard to shut down Lamar for 4 quarters.
Yeah, I'm with you. Saints, Browns. Saints a 1-point favorite. I had no idea.
I actually bet on the open. I actually bet the Browns plus 2.5. Because I thought the Browns should have been like a 1 point. I made the Browns actually a 1 in my numbers. I think the Saints are obviously the Browns are no great chance, Anthony. Again, I made the Browns a 1. Let me not overrate it, but
I got you.
I think they should be getting points, but both teams stink. But I think Cleveland wins the game.
Packers, Bears. Bears going south. Caleb struggling. Packers 6-point favorite.
Anthony, who are you taking right now? Drake May or Caleb Williams? You're running a franchise.
Drake May.
To pick today.
Drake May.
So would I.
Drake
So
May.
would I. Okay. The line's down to 5.5, Anthony, right now on the Park site. I listen. I don't like laying big numbers on the road, Anthony. It's not. But I think the Bears right now are that bad, where it's not a play on Green Bay. But I just can't. I can't take Green. I cannot take the Chicago team against. But they just got embarrassed against. I'm embarrassed against New England. I just don't think they're good enough. I bet under 41 also, by the way.
I like that. Yeah, I can see that. That's down to 40.5 now. I'm just looking at the sheet.
Let me see. It is down to 40.5.
Yeah.
You could. But I did bet under 41 this morning.
How about your Jets squad? The Jets, Jets. Wow. Back to a favorite now that the Colts have switched back to the tapper outer. Anthony Richardson. Oh, I'm too tired. I got to sit out of play. I'm on just the quarterback. That rankles me. That rankles me.
I love you.
The dude from Cleveland who made a business decision by sitting out. Are you freaking? No. I made a these kids. Look, I hate to be like the old guy going, but come on, man. You can't. I made a business. This is your business. What are you talking about?
If we're playing poker, the biggest all-time royal flush ever is the kid from Georgia celebrating.
Yeah, I know.
Please tell me you saw it.
I saw it. Yeah, and I
got to tell you.
Even coach is like, he's an idiot.
I would have.
Yeah, I know.
I wouldn't have handled that well.
No, like this is the blurring of society is so weird. Like, come on, dude. Like I can't. I have no words for it.
I can't
tap
even.
It out,
dude.
Quarterbacks tap it out. Like, how do you go to your lineman who's getting shot up, right? Who's getting busted up every day, not going to walk in 10 years, and you're tapping out because you're tired. Get the
remember
hell
in fraternities, Anthony, they would haze people and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm a proponent of doing that, but man,
I know, dude. I hear you. I feel the same way.
That was inexcusable.
Sometimes,
but anyway, going back to that game,
there's a happy medium. Like, you don't have to be, Joe Nasty football coach spitting and grabbing face masks and treating your players like, meat.
Yeah.
Like, that's not right. But then again, there's the other side of the pendulum, which is little discipline's all right.
100%. But this game, Anthony, I did bet the Colts +4.
Okay.
Hey, listen, I've been picking the Jets left, right, and up the middle, and I've been wrong. And I said to myself, okay, at this point, how can the Jets be a 4-point favorite against almost anyone? Yeah, maybe against Carolina at home or something like that.
Know.
But they stink.
I know. Although I think
it should be laying 4.
I think Richardson's green is just not as good. So I feel you. I get it. Well, we are joined, Brain, by our man Matt Hannon. Our guy, right? Philly's own, who runs. I get it wrong, but I do it on purpose because I want. You should run the whole thing.
Oh, thanks.
All right?
Appreciate that.
You're my man. All right. So when it comes to the Park Sportsbook and the app and the lines, you're a master. You're a brilliant dude, a very bright man, and so we're proud of you.
Thank you.
Let's go right into it because it's a huge game tomorrow night.
Huge game.
All right, and it's sitting at 3.5.
Yeah, hasn't
that
moved.
Thing's got to go up, no?
Hasn't moved. What are you thinking?
I love the Eagles tomorrow night. But Brad and I both love the Eagles. We both think double digits.
Really?
Margin. It's set up. The spot is set up for them.
Yeah, it is. 65% of the money on the Eagles spread so far, so it's not as much as we usually see. So
Wow.
I think some people are taking that 3.5. They think it's going to be a close game.
So that's not as much. What do you normally average?
I would say 70-75% on the Eagles usually.
Wow, 65%, Brad. That's insane. Dude, I actually love them. I mean, and not Homer, not I got the sweatshirt on, hoodie, whatever. I'm just when you match it up. Washington Brain. I just talked about Washington coming off of tough game, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Eagles coming off of Dallas, and Saquon's having a sandwich in the fourth quarter. It's just. And the matchup, I love the kid. I love Daniels. But they're not ready to win. They're not ready to come in on a short week and win at Lincoln Financial Field. You got to show me. I don't believe it.
I agree. We'll see. Barkley's minus 300 to score a touchdown, too. So that's, I think he gets in tomorrow. So, yeah. Daniels, I think some defenses are figuring him out maybe a little bit last couple games, but he still looks pretty
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he looks good.
He's great. Hey, yeah. Brad, did you see anything with Brian Robinson?
He's playing.
He's definitely playing. Yeah, that's key for them.
He's good too.
Yeah, because with him and Eckler, that's a formidable run game.
Nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, before we get when you get like a game like the Eagles are a standalone, right? The Island game.
Yeah.
Do you get a ton of props and same SGPs?
Oh yeah, same game parlays are big. We do actually do a promotion every standalone game. Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. Bet at $20 SGP. If you lose, you get your money back in a bonus bet. So it's a nice little promo. So yeah, we see a lot of SGPs. People love to bet the player props. Combine them together, a couple touchdown scores, some rushing yards, overs, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great. Listen, it's fun when you're watching it. Oh, I need another 5 yards.
Yeah.
It's a good. Brain is an elite, right? Like he's he's an investor.
Yeah.
Right. But even you always go. That's fun stuff.
Yeah.
Right, Brain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Oh, I 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Brady's the prop king. I call him the prop king.
That's what I listen.
Yeah.
I will always say my worst prop is usually better than like my NFL game of the year because I win props about 58 to 61% of the time. The straight games, dude, they're hard, and Matt, I'm sure he could tell you, they're not easy to win. They don't have these buildings up for people to beat them. It's tough. It ain't easy.
Yeah.
These lines are sharp, very sharp. Prop lines, not quite as sharp, but these NFL lines, very, very tough.
All right, couple games of the day. And then I want to get into college and then your promotion, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
All right, it's really cool. But Baltimore-Pittsburgh, I got a strong feel on that game. I love the Ravens. Right now, they're sitting at 3. Where's the money at?
Sitting at 3. It's about 50-50 right now on that one. 75% of the money's on the over so far. So, but Lamar struggles against Pittsburgh. He's only got 4 touchdowns, I think, against Pittsburgh in 6 seasons. So, yeah.
Different offense. Todd Monken's got him playing at an elite level.
That line tells me the other way.
I know. I know. People are like, oh, Steelers. Fishy. I love the Ravens.
Yeah.
From a football standpoint, matchup standpoint, their offense is ridiculous. Like it's so. And I think the Steelers have a good defense, but they don't have the secondary to deal with them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's in Pittsburgh, too, so it's a tough place to play.
Yeah, no, I know. Oh, you got that Penn State bias.
Might go against you on that
one. All right. Listen, we'll go bowl of noodles at Bamboo Noodle House.
Okay, you got it.
All right?
Deal.
Bowl of soup.
Deal.
You're in on this, Brad. Because Brady and I both like Baltimore. How about this one's a fun one? Chiefs and Bills. And the Bills are the favorite against the unbeaten Chiefs.
Yeah, that's an awesome game. That's going to be a great one. Opened at 2.5, Bills down to 2. And we got 60% of the money on the Bills spread so far. So,
we didn't get to that game yet, Brain. Where do you stand on that game?
Well, I like the under. I bet the under today. I bet the under. I don't think there's going to be a ton of points scored in that game. Because quite frankly, I think both defenses should have some success in this one. Chiefs defense has been great every single game, basically. And Kansas City. I mean, Buffalo's defense against the Kansas City offense. Quite frankly, Anthony, they just can't score at that level. And when they do score it, it takes time for them to get down the field. So I think this is going to be a game where there are going to be field goals kicked, where it's going to be hard for teams to finish the drives off. I got under 46. I think it's still 46. Maybe it is 46.
It is still 46. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
Okay. 46. That's fine. I would have done it at 46. I think that number should have been closer to 44, based on this particular matchup. So I do like under 46. That's my favorite way to attack this game. The game itself is a great game. Look, the Bills are laying 2 points at home, basically saying these teams are dead even. I think that's fair. I mean, I think it's fair to call these teams, Matt, like they're even teams. So basically, today's world NFL, for everyone just watching, it's no longer 3 points for home field. It's between 1.5 and 2. 3 points is long gone. So you say these teams are even, you're giving them 2 points for home field. It seems pretty reasonable.
I like it.
Yeah, so 90% of our actions on the over so far. Because that's with Allen and Mahomes, that's an attractive number, 46. So with those offenses, so I
kind of lean Brad's way. I like Brad's way.
I do too.
Because
I don't.
Also knowing Andy and McDermott, right?
Yeah.
I know those guys really well.
Yeah.
They're field goal guys, man.
Yep, big time.
They take the points.
Yep.
Yeah, and they don't stress it.
He doesn't treat field goals like cancer. And guess what? He's the best coach in the league.
Yes.
Yeah.
My biggest pet peeve, Anthony.
No, I feel you. Hey, and then the Sunday nighter is interesting. Chargers and Bengals.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a good game. Right now, Chargers is slight favorite.
Yep, opened at -2, -1.5 now. So I would expect the money to come on the Bengals on that one. And so far, 65% on the Bengals spread. Bengals need to win. So, and top 5 pass offense against the Chargers defense allowed the lowest points this season so far. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's hardball, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of another good
Anthony,
coach.
you said coaches league. The Chargers were the worst
Yeah.
defense for 5 years in a row.
Yes.
You said coaches. I can't say enough. Again, it's just when you hire a guy like that, changes the entire culture of that team. They're now a tough team as opposed to when they had Kellen Moore. No offense to Kellen Moore.
No, but you're right.
They were a laughing stock. And who was the coach, Anthony? What was the guy's name?
Oh God.
The guy.
I hated him.
The guy who go for every fourth down.
Yeah, no, I hated him. He was horrible.
Staley.
That's right.
Brandon Staley.
Oh God, I hated him.
He looked like.
I know. He was horrible. Let's go to college. The big one in the SEC.
Tennessee, Georgia?
Georgia
Yeah.
and the Vols.
Yeah. It's a decent-sized line for 2 top 10 teams. Isn't it?
Yeah. I'm curious to see where the brain's at. 10. Bulldogs laying 10. That's fat.
Yeah, that's a big one. 70% of the money is on Georgia spread so far.
Really? I like Tennessee. Where you at, Brain?
I bet Georgia at the Open. I laid 7.5. Now listen, and I talked to you about Carson Beck, Anthony. We both said we liked Mississippi to beat them, and he laid another egg. But here's the thing: I really don't think Tennessee's that good, and I don't know if Nico is going to play. I think my guess is right now he's not going to.
The line suggests that,
and that's why the line.
Right
now Georgia's 2-7 against the spread, but 2 of their wins were against Clemson, who was obviously one of their better games they went against, and of course the Texas win, which was their big win.
Yeah.
But obviously, look, this is a loser leave town kind of game. I just think Georgia at home. I just trust them more to score. I don't like Tennessee's offense enough, and I don't think the quarterback's going to play from what I'm reading.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, that reflects the line.
It's pricey though. I would not have laid 10. I laid 7.5.
It just seems so fat to me. Yeah. I got it. I get you. Hey, let me ask. I got a college futures question because there's a team out there that is getting no kind of love. They're under the radar. They're coming off of a monster win against a bad team, a once great power that has fallen. And I think they're a little dangerous. Where are the Irish?
Oh, man.
The Notre Dame
Notre
Fighting
Dame,
Irish. Laying in the weeds a little bit, Brain. I was talking to Kevin Nagandi today, and we do our college football ad every week, and, they're one of the teams that you go, ooh, they could scare some people.
You got some
I
value
have
in the
Notre Dame in my
championship.
rankings today, Anthony, ranked 8th. They're ranked 8th in my power rankings as of today. Now I have Ohio State ranked #1 right now, but I think these teams are all so close.
What do you got? Ohio State, Oregon.
I have Oregon. I have Oregon 2, and I have Texas 3, and then I had Georgia 4, Ole Miss 5, Alabama 6, Penn State 7. But all these teams I have within literally within basically a point and a half of each other, so they're all razor thin close. But look, Notre Dame. Again, Anthony, why not them? And what are the odds on them, Matt? Do you know off the top of your head?
Plus 2,800. I just took a look at. That's some good value.
That's a tasty pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
I agree. No interest in taking one of these other teams like Ohio State at 3-1 or Oregon at 5-1, Texas 5-1. When if they're playing Notre Dame, it's more or less close to a 50-50 game.
I mean, that's worth a pizza bet to me.
Yeah, definitely.
You
I'm
know?
not disagreeing.
Look at that.
Actually, out of the teams, Anthony, that probably makes as much sense as anyone. I would, because Matt, you have Ole Miss probably, even half that? I'm guessing.
Yeah, plus 1,000.
Yeah, right. And I have them almost dead even on my rankings, and they're that kind of saying what I'm saying.
They would be a team I would have interest. Like if I was, I would have a little interest in Ole Miss at 10-1. I mean,
yeah,
I got a little interest in that.
I think ranks 4th.
I mean, because here's the thing, there's all these teams. There's no Michigan from last year. There's no Georgia from 2 years ago. Right, like these teams are bunched together. I'm not a big. I think Oregon's good, but I'm not afraid of Oregon.
They are.
Ohio State's okay. They're not an epic Ohio State team. I'm with you.
Yeah, it's wide open.
Yeah. All right. Here's what you got to do. You got to tell me about this promotion because I love this promotion, man. This is an awesome thing. Tell everybody what you do here.
So I don't think any other book does this. It's called Double the Spread. We've been doing it for 3 years now. Every Sunday we pick an NFL game and we double the spread and give you whatever the line is at. We give you double and at -110. So it's hit 8 out of 10 times so far this season.
Wow!
So our customers are cleaning up a little bit on it. But yeah, this week I think we're going to go with the Bears game. It's in Chicago, Packers. So they're at
11.
5.5 now. Yeah, you'll get the Bears at plus 11 this weekend on the.
I love
it.
Now, if I want Green Bay, I get Green Bay to pick.
No. What do you mean? No,
I know you got this breaking stuff. It works for the favorite.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to talk you. I'm trying to talk you. Giving me Green Bay for a pick.
Yeah, Packers plus 11. I mean, we usually pick decent sized lines too.
That's
so
pretty good.
Yeah, you get a
I
nice
love
boost
that,
there.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool. What was last week?
Last week, what did we do last week? It won. I forget what we did last week, actually.
I mean, Caleb at plus 11. I mean, I don't know, Brad. That seems like good value to me.
No, listen.
Even though I'm down on him.
Disagreeing with you. Oh, of course. Listen, if I could bet that, I'd bet that for for the world because that's a bet that you're getting plus 11 on that. That's an incredible.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
that's fun.
It's a great idea.
Yeah,
it's a great idea.
I love that. That's fun stuff, man. I love it. That's cool.
Oh, we had Pittsburgh last weekend, plus 6 at Washington. So
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And win outright.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Matt, you're the best, buddy.
Yeah, you got it.
We love you, brother.
All
you're
right,
the man.
Anthony.
Great
See you,
stuff. Matt Hannon, he's the,
Good seeing
when
you,
it
buddy.
comes to the numbers here, he makes them sing and dance. All right? All the good stuff at the Site Center, Matt does at the sports book, man. We love him. All right, Brain, let's kind of roll through. We got about 10 minutes to go. I want to kind of run through some of the other games that we haven't talked about. Jaguars and Lions, big number. Lions laying 13.5. Any interest here?
Well, Anthony, I got to tell you again. I look at this game and I say to myself, with Mac Jones playing, this would, to me, be the biggest NFL upset in
history. Yeah,
I think in years. I have to go look at it. Like maybe I'm not remembering a game.
Yeah,
but yeah, I say to myself, how's Detroit not going to be covering this game at halftime? Maybe I'm just being. They're not going to stop them.
You know what's funny? Yeah, and you touched on something. This is really smart because I'm with you. Like I would lay it all day long because Mac Jones is terrible. They have no offense. They're a beaten team, a dead team. And I know, I know the Lions are coming off of that miracle win and the whole thing. But It reminds you of the Patriots back in the day where they just covered every week against bad
dude.
teams.
You're 100, Anthony. It's funny that the league never caught up to that, which is interesting. You think of a public team, but the Patriots, for I think the Belichick era, they were about 60% covering their games, which I don't know if you realize how magnificent that is over like 20 years. That's magnificent in a way I can never describe you how impressive that is. But that's a great comp by you. And here's the thing: they should be up 21-0 like the Eagles were, but the difference is, they're going to get a mouthful of Gibbs and Montgomery that are just not going to stop. And they're not going to. With Mac Jones, I just don't know how they're going to score. Trevor Lawrence,
I agree.
What you want to say about the kid. He's still not a bad player.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is a bad player. I don't know how this. Again, the NFL always things happen, but I'll say this: this would be one that would really surprise me.
I'm with you. I don't know. Rams, Patriots. I don't know what happened to the Rams, man. They let us down Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they really did, and I was really, really surprised at just how inept that they were. But they were. I mean, that's just the way that it was.
I was shocking how inept they were. I mean, you come in with Kyron Williams, come in with Puka and Cooper, right? Like those guys healthy, and I was stunned that they didn't move the ball. I mean, Miami's defense is good, but it's not elite.
Listen, it was, but you know what? It's funny. They weren't able to do anything against. Let's face it, Anthony. Not a great Miami defense.
No.
And I
agree.
I listen here that McVay gets this team to 4-4. You're thinking, okay, this guy with his pedigree, this is their chance to kind of like, get this thing, get maybe in the playoffs potentially. And man, that was just a horrible performance to me, at least. So listen. Now they play a New England team that's playing. Listen, New England team that's not playing poorly. The game's a pass for me, but the only way I could look would be towards the underdog Pats getting 4.5. I think the game will probably be close.
Dolphins and Raiders. Dolphins 7.5 over the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Look, they saved their season theoretically in this game, right, Anthony? I mean, this was they needed this game to have any kind of hope. And the line is actually down to 7, Anthony, and that's key to me. You can actually lay right now 7 on the Park side. I'm looking at it. I only can look towards the Miami side. The Raiders, to me, are a dead team. Miami, again, not that they're in, but now they're dreaming. Okay, if we can just win this game. I thought the line should have been 8. So, again, I think there's a little bit of value here in taking the favorite.
All right. How about Titans, Minnesota? Minnesota 6, Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have all the respect in the world for what Minnesota has done. Look, they against last year against Jacksonville. It was one of the craziest games ever. Like everything was going against them. Kind of like that. It was very similar to that Detroit-Houston game where they just kept turning the ball over. Darnold finally took 10 weeks for him to have one of those quote unquote Sam Darnold games, which I'm sure Coach Rule could say, oh, why I could have told you he could do this. And when he was with the Jets, he would do that all the time. He just made bad decisions. Those interceptions he had were just scary because he just did dumb stuff. But look, Tennessee, only thing I could look would be the Titans side, just to lean because Levis is bad. But I think the Vikings are good, but I'm not going to lay 6 here again. My numbers thought this should have been about 5.5. Lean here, Titans, but not betting it.
Falcons and Broncos. Denver 2-point favorite. I kind of like Denver in this game. Where are you at there?
Well, it's actually at the 2.5, Anthony.
Okay.
Look, to me, and again, you say, what's the difference between a game that's Pick'em versus 2.5? Well, the money line is usually about $1.40 plus $1.20. That's the difference. And to me, I thought this game should have been about a pick. And the money line's like 140, 120, I believe. So I think there's value in taking Atlanta getting 2.5 points. I think the game is 50-50. I think it's coin flip, absolute coin flip. You want to give me 2.5 points in a game where, quite frankly, I think it's going to be close either way, Anthony. I think it'll be close either way.
The thing is Peyton, you know what I mean? Like Peyton is such a good coach.
The best.
And I don't think that Atlanta team is tough enough.
I lean Falcons getting the 2.5 because I think I just thought the line should have been closer.
Yeah, I got you. Niners 6.5 against Seattle.
You know, it's interesting. One of my betting guys who I work with, I said to him, I go, if this line, creeps down a little bit, I may look at taking San Fran. He goes, that's funny, Brad. He goes, if it gets to 7, I'm going to bet Seattle. I'm like, huh. Interesting, because I go, I thought the line should have been 7.
Yeah.
He's like, no. He goes, I thought the line should have been, closer to 5.5, 6. I'm like,
wow.
Minds can disagree. I like the San Francisco side here. Seattle's a team to me, Anthony. Look, their season's gone south. There's that loss they had against the Rams. To me, I think that was their Armageddon moment where things are just not going to work out. San Francisco dominated that Tampa Bay game. Baker Mayfield, guy's freaking. I've never seen a guy improve more than him. But I think with McCaffrey back, Anthony, again, I don't think they're going to be a great playoff team, San Fran. I think there's too much stuff.
Agreed.
It's just not good about that team.
Yeah.
But I think
they miss Ayuk. Ayuk makes big plays. Like, I know they get the rookie Pearson,
big loss.
Yeah, Ayuk's fast. Ayuk's a money player. And Pearsall's good, but he's a rookie, and he's got a way to go. And Ayuk is a big deal.
Very, very big loss for them. And now, I will say this. Good discovery by them, Anthony. Every time I watch Juwan Jennings, I'm like, man, this kid's freaking good.
I like him off time.
And that's what I was hoping Dotson would be for the Eagles.
Yeah.
But no dice.
Yeah, I'm with you. You said cheap. The way to attack it.
I bet the under.
Yeah, is the under. I get that. I think that's smart.
I think that line again. The public may bet, but again, I'm seeing even 45.5s out there now. I think that the Chiefs play slow. And again, it's interesting. Sure, Andy would love to pass the ball 96 times a game, but that's not what this team is. He knows he has to win with defense, playing slow, lengthening the game, playing less defense, and trying to just. He doesn't have that Tyreek Hill dominant offense they had in the past. And the Bills, to me, again, they don't have a prolific passing game either. I mean, Josh Allen's magnificent. But it's a lot of Josh Allen runs, James Cook runs. They're not really explosive teams, either one of these teams to me. Hopkins isn't a big play guy. He's a great catch guy, but he's not burning guys like Tyreek Hill or even I dare say MVS.
Now, I know that was crazy. I will say this. I do think at some point the Chiefs' offense comes to life a little bigger because I think Hopkins will help Worthy.
That helped.
All right?
That helped.
And here's the thing about Worthy. Worthy is a player. Like, he's a rookie, and, again, he's super fast. And if you got Hopkins on one side, I think you free up Worthy. Now Worthy doesn't feel like, because he was their only real weapon, and now you got legitimate Hopkins, and then Worthy becomes the true complementary speed guy, playmaker opposite him. I think that helps.
No, I think that's fair
in the middle,
I think that's fair, but I'm going to tell you this. I give Brett Veach credit for getting DeAndre Hopkins because again, I think he showed. While he may not ever be elite, again, he doesn't have to be elite, but I think he's shown he's a productive player playing with Mahomes. But I do think losing Rice, in my opinion, he was the most dynamic. I mean, obviously,
yes. I agree. I think it
was going to be a big loss for them.
Yeah, I got you. I agree. The Bengals Chargers we just touched on. Once again, you like.
Well, that's a tough game, man. To me, I would lean Chargers because again, I have a head coach I trust versus a head coach who I think is garbage. I hate Zach Taylor. I think that guy does everything wrong.
I agree with you, dude. I'm with you, man. I can't stand him either. I agree.
I can't stand the guy. I think
he can't stand you. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you.
Can't stand. Yeah, he's a can't stand you. You have to look here. The can't stand you list. But when I lose a couple bets in a row, I'm sure some of your viewers are saying, Brad Feinberg's on, I can't stand your list.
No.
So I get it.
So we love the brain. Brain's money, man.
But I don't, Anthony, again, I can only lean Chargers. But I think the Bengals are a more talented team. But I just think the coaching advantage for the Chargers, I just trust them more in a close game. It'll be close games. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, it's a good game. Finally, the Battle of Texas. It is the Houston Texans against the
I got to tell you.
They are pathetic. They're Cooper Rush. Hold your nose.
I thought, Anthony, I got to tell you something. I thought we saw with the Eagles last year against that Giants game and the Tampa Bay game. I was like, could there be two worse performances I've ever seen in my lifetime than those two games? I'm like,
Yeah.
those to me, I'd say I don't think I've seen a team look Dallas to me against Philly.
Yeah.
I swear to God, and I think I saw, like EPA expected points at it. It was the worst game in the last 5 years by a team in the NFL was Dallas. They're
horrible. Yeah.
So bad. Now listen. That being said, look, every game is a different game, so to speak. 7.5 for a Texans team on the road. Now they're going to get Nico back, which I think is huge. Only way I can look is Dallas. Never would bet $1 on them. I would never.
I know. I hear you.
But I'm not laying 7.5 with the Texans at all.
All right. Get college. Who you like in college? We got about a minute. Who you liking on Saturday?
Yeah, well, Anthony, I talked about the Georgia game. I did bet Georgia. I like Arkansas. Look, I actually have Arkansas, Anthony, ranked in my rankings as like a top 25 team.
Yes, okay? I don't disagree.
I believe that the quarterback's going to be healthy this week.
Yeah.
I think Arkansas is good. Arkansas is really good
on
offense.
Yep.
They're really good on offense. So, again, Texas, we talk about all these teams. These teams are all close. They're all close, okay? So, and anyway, another game I'll give you, Michigan State versus Illinois. I think this game's like a 50-50 kind of game. Let's see what the line is right now. I'll bring it up. I took 3.5. I think it was down to 3. But let me see what it is now.
2.5.
Oh, 2.5. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was 50-50.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I really, really did. So, I did bet. Again, listen, not the best game because you have two teams that aren't so great. But I just thought, I don't know. I thought it was 50-50. I was surprised the line was as high as it was. I told you I did bet Georgia against Tennessee. I didn't love this week's card.
No, I don't like it either.
I do think LSU responds against Florida. Like
I don't like Florida.
No, Florida to me stinks.
Yeah, I agree.
I was really surprised because I respect Kelly a lot as a coach. Line right now on Parks is 4.5.
Dude, what are they doing? Why would you attack Milroe that way? You don't blitz him.
Well,
you didn't learn it from last year. He kills you.
I got to say something, and everyone watching the show, I hope everyone really listens to the next thing I say, because I think it's so important if you're going to bet on this stuff. I bet LSU +3 in that game. Okay, I liked LSU. I thought the line.
So did I. I liked LSU. Yeah, I agree.
I'm watching the game, watching how they're defending Milroe. I'm watching everything. I'm like, right away. I'm on the wrong side here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I always say you choose to be consistent. You choose to be right.
And you went right.
I'm going to choose to be right.
Yeah.
I switched my position immediately. I made money on that game because I switched to Alabama live betting, and you could bet all this stuff on Parks live betting.
Yes.
I can't stress enough. I think it's the best way to
use your eyes, baby.
Trust your eyes.
Trust your eyes. I agree. And then I do like Syracuse getting 8 from Cal.
You know what's funny, Anthony? I got to tell you, I was about to say to you, Syracuse line against Cal. I thought was a little too high, but the only thing is, I'll say Cal is actually good. Like Cal
they are.
Can score. And
but
they lost 4 games by
9
9 points, Anthony. They lost 4 games by a combined 9 points.
Yeah, I know.
That being said, I still thought this line would come in closer to maybe 6-ish. So I do lean.
I like the quarterback. I do.
He's good.
Yeah, again, he was at Ohio State last year. He got jackknifed by Day, who scapegoated him because of the Michigan loss. So I like the kid. Anyway. That's going to do it for us. Brain, great stuff, my brother. Best of luck, morning. And we'll see you tomorrow, man. Great stuff, pal. Thank you.
Good luck, everyone. Thanks.
There he is, the Brain. And that'll do it for us from Park. Andrew Frazier, my main man, my cohort. Great job as always, my boy.
Hey, man. Love coming here. Love hanging out with you.
It's the best.
Best time.
The best. Next week, we get soup.
Let's do it.
All right, noodles.
Sounds good to me.
Everybody have a great day. We love you, all right? Be careful, and we'll see you in the morning. Thanks for hanging.
We all silly like the mayor.